Now, if we are given another example, and we say this example, we are given to find the what? The final solution of your given equation. And what's your equation? Your equation is simply what? D square y over what? Dx square plus 10 dy over what? Dx, right? Plus what? 25. And this is equal to what? 0. What do? The first thing is to check if that equation is homogeneous. Simply write it down. Yes, your equation is what? Homogeneous. This is having an extra mark. You've given yourself an extra mark. The next thing to do is to get the auxiliary equation for your given what? Equation. So to get the auxiliary equation, we represent this as what? M square. So we have m square plus what? 10 multiplied by m, and this is having y here. So you have this to be what? Plus what? 25, and this will be equal to 0. So your auxiliary equation will now be y is equal to what? M square plus what? 10m plus 25. Are we together? So what you do is you simply what? Solve the quadratic equation you have there. What are the two numbers that when you add them, you are going to get 10, and when you multiply them, you are going to get what? 25. So we have 5 and 5. If you add 5 plus 5, that will give you 10. If you multiply 5 times what? 5, you will get what? 25. So you have this to be what? M plus what? 5, and you have m plus what? 5, such that when you expand, you simply arrive at what? Your given what? Quadratic what? Equation. So we can see that your parameters here are what? The same. So you can simply say that m here plus 5 is equal to what? 0. So m1 will now be what? Minus 5. M2 also will now be equal to what? Minus 5. So you can see that M1 here is equal to what? M2. So go back to your cases. What equation suits your given what? Differential equation? So you can see that M1 is equal to what? M2. So what is the solution? The solution for a given equation will now be what? Y is equal to a plus bx exponential raised to the power of what? M of what? X. So you go back to your given equation and you tell the examiner that the solution to our equation will simply be what? Y will now be equal to a plus what? Bx exponential raised to the power of what? Minus 5x. So this is the solution for our given what? Equation. Now let's take another example. To confirm if what we have here is the right what? Step and solution in solving these equations. If you have the square y here over what? Dx square plus, you have minus, so this is minus, so you have minus what? 4 dy over what? Dx plus 4 here, and this is equal to 0. What do? The first thing is to check if it's homogeneous. Yes, it is homogeneous because it is equated to what? 0. What's the second thing? To get the auxiliary equation for our given ordinary differential equation. Now, your auxiliary equation will now be what? M square minus 4m plus what? 4 here. So this is 4y. So plus what? 4, and this will be 0. So your auxiliary equation will now be y is equal to what? M square minus 4m plus what? 4. Are we together? So solving the quadratic equation, look for those two numbers that when you add them, you are going to get what? Minus 4. And when you multiply those two numbers, you are going to get what? 4. What are those numbers? Minus 2 and what? Minus 2. So if you multiply minus 2, that will give you, if you multiply minus 2 by 2, you are going to get what? 4. And if you add minus 2 plus what? Minus 2, and that will give you what? Minus 4. So those two numbers are what? M minus 2 and what? M minus what? 2. And this is equal to what? 0. Such that when you expand this bracket, you simply arrive at what? M square minus 4m plus what? 4. So what you simply have here is what? M minus 2, and this is equal to 0. So your M1 here will be what? 2. Because plus minus 2 is crossing an equality sign, which is what? Plus 2. And you have M2 to be the same as what? M2 will still be the same as what? Plus what? 2. Such that you have that M1 will now be equal to what? M2. 2. Now what do you have there? Your given final solution for your ordinary differential equation will now be what? A exponential A what? A. What's your equation? Go back to your cases there. You simply have A plus bx. So we have here to be what you simply have here will now be what? A plus what? A plus what? Bx, all in what? Exponential raised to the power of what? Mx. So your m here is what? 2. So you have 2 of what? X. Are we together? So basically I've simply given you some equations that you can see when you are given to get your what? Case 1 and case 2. Let's take some complex what? Root equation. Let's take an example for complex root equation.